Greetings, Voyagers. I'm going to do a little review on this Coleman stove that I just bought. It's Coleman, I don't know what model number they call it, but it's the butane stove. Um, it takes these butane canisters and they slide into place. You have to keep there's a notch on the top of the can. You have to keep the notch facing up so it can slide down into that little device there, which is some type of a latch. And this is the locking device that locks that canister in place. Up top is the open, and down here is the closed or the latched position. So right now it's in the open position. I can take this can out, replace it. And when I want to use it, you push down on this lever to the locked position, and now it's ready to pump gas. So it doesn't need a match or any kind of flame to start it. It has one of those electric, it doesn't need batteries. It has one of those piezo, however you pronounce it, igniters. So no extra power required to start. So look at how small that flame is under that pan, and yet I have it on max. I have it on maximum flame, and then that's just a tiny little flame under there. It started out real strong a minute ago, and now it's dwindling down. I did the same thing yesterday. This is a brand new stove. I just bought this stove. It's the butane. I wanted to get the one that was dual fuel, propane and butane, but they didn't have any. I did not like this one, which was only about $8 or $9. And it sits on top of a vertically positioned propane bottle. And it's top heavy and it's tippy, and I was afraid it was going to tip over, and I never really liked it because of that. It worked well with the propane, but I just didn't like it being unstable. So I wanted something flat that won't tip over, and this fits the bill. But it only runs on butane. I had this problem with my other butane cook stove, that little backpacker cook stove. It's about that big, and it folds up, and you screw it on top of one of those squat little propane canisters. But the problem I was having with that was it was running out of pressure. I couldn't get a decent flame out of it, and yet the can would still be half full. Why? Do they underpressurize these cans? No, I don't think that's it. I think the problem is the bitter cold. I've been doing this in bitter cold with temperatures down to single digits. And here's the thing with gases. When they heat, they expand. When they cool, they contract. So in the warm weather, when it's nice and warm, you get a lot of pressure out of that thing, and you can, of that little butane stove, and you can get burn your full tank till it's empty. In the bitter cold, those gases contract and they're losing pressure. This can just about, I mean, look at that flame. There's almost nothing down there. And yet, when I pull that canister out and I shake it, it's only half gone. It's only half empty. So there's still plenty of fuel. I was thinking last night, the first time I used it, I heated a couple of cans of soup, and I boiled some water to put into the coolers to to keep it warm overnight so I could have fresh, unfrozen water. And that was all I did. And I'm thinking, God, it's running out of fuel already? What a nuisance. But no, it's still got plenty of fuel in it. It's the pressure from the cold. The propane doesn't do that. The propane has enough pressure in those steel bottles to push that fuel out no matter how cold the temperature is. But these are smaller cans with thinner metal walls, so they can't put a lot of pressure on them. They can't pressurize that gas too much. So it's the bitter cold temperatures that are decreasing the efficiency of those canisters. So I do not recommend purchasing one of these butane stoves in the cold weather. You're just not going to get the flame out of it. Now, there's still a flame, but it's going to take forever to boil the water that we need for our oatmeal. So, one big demerit, one big thumbs down on butane stoves. Now, if this were the dual fuel with the butane and the propane, I'd just hook up one of my propane bottles and we'd be good to go. We'd have plenty of flame. So, yeah, but this stove was only 18 bucks, which is not bad. I mean, that's still pretty cheap. And it does give me a flat, stable surface to cook on, which I appreciate. But one of these days, I wanted the dual fuel stove. They just didn't have any, so I bought this instead. But I won't buy another butane-only stove again. I don't recommend them for the cold weather. If you're going to be just warm weather camping, that's fine. But if you're cold weather boondocking like I am,